It's all right, I forgive you. This is called austerity blues. It's about time we had a bit of politics here. Whatever the weather, like birds of a feather, we're all in this together, austerity blues. The Tories claim that their aim is to help the low-paid, hard-working brigade. But the facts are that 0 hours contracts are just a variation on casualisation, open to all, wait for a call, at home, alone, austerity blues. No job, no home, bust without a crust, your life crumbling to dust. The cupboard bare, the government don't care. Give thanks for food banks, long queues, time to muse, austerity blues. If you're disabled and the quack says back to work, don't go berserk, appeal, don't reveal the pain, stay sane, don't cry, don't die, austerity blues. Under the cosh with no dosh, dreaming of posh nosh, smooth booze, good news, new shoes, a world cruise, austerity blues. Political louses flogged off council houses. Politicians don't give a toss for the loss to community. They act with impunity because they have political immunity. Austerity blues.
Wow.
Haven't quite finished.
Well, it's good, man. Really good.
Thank you. The country skint, says Osborne, without a hint of irony. But for wars and arms, there's a stash of cash produced in a flash. Austerity blues. The government's lax on collecting tax, and teams of bean counters devise schemes for people of means to avoid paying their just dues. Whatever the weather, birds of a feather, we're all in this together. Are we fuck austerity blues? When the banana guys were on earlier, it reminded me of the old one about Clinton and the Pope, who were killed in an air crash. And due to the fact that St Peter had been contracted out to Crapita or G4S or somebody, they fucked up the paperwork. So there was the Pope down in hell, and there was Clinton up in heaven. So anyway, they sorted out the paperwork, and the following day, there was the lift with Clinton coming down, and there was the lift with the Pope going up. They sort of crossed, and Pope said hello Bill, and Bill said hello Pope, and Pope said, oh, I'm looking forward to getting up and seeing the Virgin Mary, and Bill said, sorry. Anyway, the next one is called the pencil test. Sportsmen and entertainers opened their hands, closed their eyes and took Kruger rounds. Under apartheid there was black and white and 14 types of coloured, and in order to be seen to be correct, the authorities could the 14 reject and the 15 select. Like Mendel and his peas, recessive genes caused the sight of a slight change in colour of children previously white. Sometimes the authorities couldn't be sure if a child was pure, so inspectors were sent into the schools, followed the rules and placed a pencil in the child's hair, and the child's colour would rest on the pencil test. When the head was shook, there was a look of relief, physical and mental. When the pencil fell to the floor, the child was white. When the hair was crinkly and thick, the pencil was passed like a stick through the hair from front to back, and if the pencil stalled, the verdict called was black. What the parents were hardly mattered. The child was reclassified, the family scattered. To search a new school, a new church, and lots of kids were left alone and bereft. Political apartheid has ended, but South Africa's not mended. Black, white and coloured still live apart. A new start is needed to remove the pain and finally end apartheid's reign. As I think I've said before here, I lived in South Africa for about 8 years working in townships after the end of apartheid, and it really is quite appalling how little has changed. And for anybody that'd like to read a bit more about it, I do run a website called radicalsoapbox.com, which you can hear some of the poems, and hopefully this lot will go up after Jason sends me the little bit to put in. But there are various things on what's happening in Britain, all pretty depressing, and South Africa as well. So I'd like to now go to one called Requiem for the NHS.